I'd like to call the October 13th Upper Gwynedd Township Business Meeting to order. Today, I'd like to ask Lori from Parks and Rec to lead us in the pledge. Thank you. Deanna, can you do a roll call, please?
Catherine Carter, President. Rebecca Moody, Vice President.
Here.
Denise Hall, Commissioner.
Here.
Ms. McNaney, Commissioner.
Here.
Gregory Mull, Commissioner.
Here.
Sandra Zedell, Township Manager. Here. Lauren Gallagher, Township Solicitor.
Here.
Nicholas Cross, Township Engineer.
Here.
David Duffy, Chief of Police. Here. Ryan Shapiro, Finance Director. And it is noted Megan Hurst, our Assistant Township Manager, is out.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to VMSC and Chief Wheeler.
Y'all hear me okay? Yeah, it's on. Oh, there we are. Just got to get a little personal with it. Okay. Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to talk about, where we're at, how things are going in our community, in my community. That's right. Live here. Love it. To date, through 2025, we've answered. Oh, I'm in charge of this slide clicker. Hold on. I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Thanks, Bryson. There we are. All right. So far this year, we've handled about 1,400 requests for service in our municipality. We have a pretty high, substantially high transport rate, which tells us that the system doesn't get abused a lot with regards to calls where there's a lot of non-transport related type responses. So about 86% of all those calls, we end up in transporting the patient. As we're seeing across most of our municipalities, falls and sick people tend to be the number 1 and 2. Sick people just as a general catch-all, but falls are a significant challenge. This is something we've had in our community now as a leading response since I've been here, which will be 4 years in January. And it's only going to get worse, right? We continue to see upticks in falls. We have this silver wave of folks that are now my generation, are joining the ranks, right, of the boomers. And we're living longer, right? So we're going to continue to see, I think, more dependence on EMS particularly. We're going to talk a little about some of our strategy with addressing the fall challenges in all the municipalities and communities that we serve. But as you can see, about approximately, nearly 300 responses this year for falls. Something I'm particularly proud of is this right here. Our average response time from the time of notification to the time we are on scene in Upper Gwynedd is 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Prior to my arrival in 21, it was over 12 minutes. So we've cut that over the last few years down to almost in half, 6 minutes and 24 seconds. So we're super proud of that number. I think that is a testament to some of the success we've had in our communities. Obviously, getting an ambulance to the scene of an emergency quickly is important, and certainly as shows here. Something you alone get the distinct honor to be the highest cardiac arrest survival rate in all of our 20 municipalities that we service. 54%, right? 58% of the cardiac arrest patients that we've responded to in Upper Gwynedd to date. That's 7 people have survived a cardiac arrest event in your community, right? Now, that's not just all our credit. Chief Duffy and his team and our fire department partners. It's really a collaborative approach to when a cardiac arrest call comes in. Generally speaking, law enforcement almost always beats us. And they are just quick to get the AED on patients, start CPR. They're very aggressive in delivering that care. And the fire departments, arrives with us, generally speaking, and we just all attack this patient, right, to ensure that they're getting the very best care possible. Something I'm super proud of. I've told everybody that we hire, and anybody that'll listen. My strategy is always on 1%, right? How do we give 1 more % chance for someone to survive a particular medical emergency or a traumatic emergency? And over time, those 1% become 2% and 3%. And, we are outpacing cardiac arrest survival significantly. Nationally, in the United States, only 9% of people survive a cardiac arrest event, right? You're sitting at 58%. So phenomenal. It's really a tribute to the entire community that has come together, that laypersons that have started CPR on their own, and the 911 center that's giving pre-arrival instructions, and like I've mentioned, our public safety partners who are just quick to get out the door and just eager to support our efforts to save people's lives. So congratulations. It's a great, the highest survival rate in all of our communities. So pretty fantastic. So the other thing we're super proud of, many of you were participants of our blood release early in the early spring of this year. I'm happy to report that we still remain the only EMS agency in this region that has the capability to do blood transfusions. They're the only ones in Montgomery County. In all of the areas we are currently serving, we're the only EMS system that can deliver blood. We currently have blood programs here in our North Penn Indian Valley operation, and then we have another blood unit in Chester City. Both of those blood teams have been very successful at identifying patients that need it and administering the blood in a timely fashion. And I think to date we're around 12 or 13 total blood administrations across both of those communities, with about 6 or 7 right here in our community. So, it's a really important tool, and in a situation, be it medical hemorrhaging or traumatic hemorrhaging, it can improve the chance of survival by as much as 75%. So. Last year, we launched a endeavor. As if you've seen my reports, I'm a real data guy. Bryson is the brainchild for most of my technology reports. But we wanted to know how we really did, right? We can see that our cardiac arrest survivals, our response times are improved, but are we really doing a good job? And at the end of the day, it's that end user, it's the patients and their families that are going to tell us that. So we launched a aggressive survey initiative, and within a couple hours of a emergency, we've pulled out assaults and bad call type responses, but responses that have someone more apt to be able to calmly or not fill one out. And really pleased at the responses. We get a high number of responses, which is really strange because generally most people are reluctant, but we do a text message survey, and these are some of the results. Every now and then we'll get a bad one, and we're quick to deal with it. Not only do we get these, but the crew gets them themselves. So there's immediate feedback for everybody that's involved in the care cycle, which we have found to be very beneficial at improving the delivery of services and the way people feel about us. Did you forget the water, Regina? I always get a little coffee anyway. Challenges in delivering care. This is something that we continue to face. We were hoping with something called the Ground Ambulance Data Collection Survey, which was a mandatory, basically an audit by the federal government of all EMS agencies in the United States to determine were insurance rates being reimbursed appropriately versus cost of delivery of service, et cetera. And it really showed what we'd been saying for years. Hey, what they pay us doesn't meet what it costs us by any stretch of the imagination. So of the 3,600 ambulance services that were surveyed, oh, look at you. Thank you. I'm terrible. Thank you so much. I do a lot of talking. Of the 3,600 ambulance services across the United States that were surveyed in first year, it was determined that the average cost of an ambulance transport was about $2,600, where Medicare reimbursed typically about $400 to $500. So there's a pretty significant gap. We've talked about those gaps and in previous meetings and so forth, and how we address those. So we thought there was a pretty good chance that there would be some change to federal to kind of pay us more. Then Elon showed up. And the federal government's not giving any more money to anybody, right? So, those are some challenges that we face. No different than everybody, right? It's a trickle-down effect. When the Fed stops supporting the states stop supporting the locals, then it just becomes a cascading type effect. Interesting, the residents over 65 in Upper Gwynedd are nearly over 26% of the population. These are the challenges that I mentioned earlier about falls and chronic disease management, hypertension, diabetes, coronary artery disease, et cetera. Obviously, with government shutdowns and everything that's going on, we continue to monitor things very closely. We believe that the North Penn and VMSE communities started something really fantastic by coming together a few years ago to support VMSE through either millage or contribution. Today, I'm happy to report that all of our municipalities provide support to VMSE, and we're super appreciative of that. Because of you all, I apologize. Because of you all, we're able to adjust for the for the 1.2 million in uncompensated care in North Penn communities. This is patients who, excuse me, does not have the ability to pay. Their insurance doesn't cover appropriately. They have no insurance, et cetera. And quite frankly, we have no means to recover that money from folks. As well, their contributions and those of the other municipalities that support our system has helped us produce our own internal paramedic programs. We're graduating our second class, which will be about 12 more paramedics into our community. Super happy about that, and have started our third program. We continue to invest in technology through ultrasound, ventilators, and I'm pleased to announce we've just received and procured new cardiac and defibrillator monitors, very great technology that's replacing about 12-year-old technology that we've had on our cardiac monitors. So those will be launched in November. That's about $1.4 million investment in our operation for new monitors. So I want to thank you for your investment into our community and into our EMS system. And I want to talk a little bit about where we're going. Last year, this community and the other North Penn communities endorsed a grant application by Montgomery Township for a $2.4 million Safe Streets grant. We received it. Of course, we haven't got the check yet. But our whole premise is with the Safe Streets grant was how do we improve accident survivability and reduce the morbidity associated with traffic-related incidents. Well, we know that about 40% of all the responses that we go on, maybe it's a fall to help somebody up, etc., pain, maybe doesn't require an ambulance transport. Okay? Maybe just requires a consult, support, prescription refilled. A lot of things that you wouldn't necessarily think you need an ambulance for, but people rely on us for those kind of things. Well, if we had an alternative, then we could keep that ambulance more available for those traffic-related incidents, thereby, if it's more available, to respond to those more critical emergencies instead of maybe being tied up 40% of the responses on calls that could go by another means or be handled differently, then we would, in fact, reduce mortality and morbidity associated with traffic-related incidents. And that's what we're going to do. So we'll be launching, hopefully if they pay us, mid 26, a community paramedic program into our communities, our number one communities in the North Penn. These specially trained paramedics or nurse will respond to the low acuity calls with an ambulance and identify the high utilization patients, those patients that are repetitively calling an ambulance for falls, etc., and help them find better ways, maybe better in-home care, services, etc. Identify social determinants of health so that we can find the barriers that are keeping them from getting the appropriate care they need, not necessarily an ambulance. Part of that mission will be fall mitigation as well. So we'll be following up on all of our falls in our communities, in our homes, with patients and say, hey, can we do a home safety inspection? Can provide education? How can we help you to prevent another fall, right? Along with a series of educations that we're going to try to drive within our communities to make this more aware to the public. So we're really excited about launching that program in 2026. I think it'll be a great addition to deal with health issues at their source and to find better solutions than they're just going to keep falling or they don't have enough help. And we've had a lot of success stories with some pilot programs that we've done in partnership with Jefferson Health in Lansdale, and identifying stuff as simple as, well, they can't go get their prescription filled because their car's broke down and they can't afford to get it repaired. And we've been able to work with shops to say, hey, would you accept a lower payment if they could make it a payment so they could get their medication? And you would be surprised the outpouring of support that, some of the places have done to help people to do that, fix their car, and they're paying them really low dollars on a payment plan for the next, maybe they recover it, maybe they don't ever, but they've been very supportive in the community. We've been able to work with the VA to get people in home care, get a ramp built, etc. There's a lot of things that get in the way of care. Medical literacy is one of them, people not understanding their medications, how to take them, or they've gotten medications that they should have thrown away years ago, but they still keep that bottle. And every now and then, I'm going to take one of those pills and it might interact with other medication that they have. So medication reconciliation. So we're going to really be attacking things from a preventative standpoint and a proactive approach to not just always, we'll just keep sending an ambulance out, and try to really make our communities healthier and safer. So I'm happy to take any questions from you all if you have any. And again, we're very appreciative and value the relationship we have with Upper Gwynedd. And I might be a little biased, but we really appreciate the great relationship we have with our public safety partners and the community.
Thank you.
We also think we're the best. So we're with you on that, Chief.
Right. Thank you so much. Water. just want me to leave this up here? Great. We'll get out of your hair.
Thank you. Next up, number 5, I turn it over to Commissioner Mull.
We are very lucky to be celebrating 25 years of dedication for Lori Hamill this evening. We proudly recognize and celebrate her 25 years of incredible service, leadership, and dedication to our parks and community. As parks foreman, she's been the heart behind countless improvements, beautification projects. I'm told gardening is her favorite pastime, and the smooth day-to-day operations that keep our parks and spaces in tip-top shape. Lori's work ethic, attention to detail, and commitment to Upper Gwynedd excellence is second to none. Thank you, Lori, for your contributions so far. You've truly made a lasting impact, and we can't wait to see what creative ideas you're going to bring to Upper Gwynedd next. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
I'm just going to add a couple things. So Lori, one thing that I really have always appreciated about you working with you is your direct nature. You will always tell it like it is. And believe it or not, I love people like that. And I think because of that, you really contribute to the team by always giving really creative ideas and making sure if you see something that's a miss, you make sure someone knows. And that is really important to upholding that culture of excellence that we have. So come on up. Your team got you a little something. They couldn't be here, especially Sarah, who I know wants to be here for you. So they got you this lovely flower arrangement and a beautiful little note from your whole Park and Rec team. That's from them, not. I think so. That's what it says on the card. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks, Lori. And you are welcome to stay, but also we don't get offended if you dart away. Okay. Okay, cool.
Next up, Lauren, were there any executive sessions?
The board did meet in executive session earlier this evening to discuss matters of personnel and potential litigation.
Thank you. Next up, we have public comments. Please state your name, and if you're a resident or non-resident, when you come up to the mic. And I remind you to make sure the green light is nice and bright. We also, our goal is to always give you the most complete and correct answers to your questions from our staff who are experts in their areas of expertise. For that reason, you have the option of enclosing your email address in the registry if you'd like us to reach out to you during the week with a full answer to your questions. First up for public comments this evening, Fred Hankin.
Fred Hankin, I am a resident. Question, Sandra, maybe you can help me with this. So you wrote back to me, I had a question in a meeting and asked what our capital reserves were, and you said it was about 4.5 million, maybe, something about that amount. You got back to me
Yes.
pretty promptly, and I appreciate that. So I think it was also mentioned previously that the township would need about $25 million in capital reserves the next 5 years to fund projects. Is that correct as well?
That was based on last year's budget.
Okay, so let's say it remains the same.
It may go up.
Yeah, well, what doesn't, right? So if the board is now going to spend approximately $900,000 to approve this church purchase, which is coming out of capital reserves, correct? So I guess my question is, what is the township's plan to fulfill the gap in the capital reserves we're talking over $20 million. I'm sure there's grant money involved, but I'm curious as to what is going to make up that gap. It seems like a lot, but.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay. So sorry, I just wanted to
That's
make
all
sure,
right.
Fred. So we have always had more capital needs than we have capital funding. And what municipalities do in that situation is borrow money. We have a very, very, very low debt ratio. So I would expect that at some point in the upcoming years, you're going to see us going out for a bond issue for a couple of big projects that we have coming along, as well as we continue to aggressively get grants. Also, it's important to note that the 5-year capital plan is a fluid document where something might have been on the capital plan for 2025. It might not have happened this year. It might get pushed to 2028. So I like to always point out that it's a planning tool, not actually what is definitely going to happen. But as the board approves the next year's budget, so as we go through the 2026 budget process, you will see changes to the capital plan, and the board only authorizes projects that they can actually pay for.
I got to be at that one meeting last year where we
Yes.
were going through.
Yeah.
I can't make it tomorrow. I know you're going to be sad about that, but I will try. No, I just did capital budgeting and I understand it, and I'm curious as to how you prioritize and how you make up the gaps, because everyone faces those issues. So, okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. That ends our public comment. Up next, number 8, I'd like to make a motion to approve consent items A through I. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have any board comments? Any public comments? Deanna, can you do a roll call?
President Carter,
Aye.
Vice President Moody,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner McNaney,
Aye.
Commissioner Mull.
Thank you. Motion passes unanimously. Number 9, I'd like to make a motion to approve a budget amendment to the Capital Reserve Fund, authorizing the purchase of 1908 West Point Pike in the amount of $900,000, plus an additional contingency of $20,000 for a total of $920,000. Can I have a second?
So,
I have a motion and a second. We have any board comments? Any public comments? Mr. Hankin?
Just had a few questions. Can you tell me what the original asking price was for the property?
I don't recall. I'm sorry.
Okay.
If I knew it off the top of my head.
Oh, no, that's all right.
I can follow up.
Well, maybe you can answer this question, and I apologize for not looking previously, but was the property listed in the MLS?
I believe it was.
If it was, then I could get the purchase.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I apologize again for not being prepared with that. Does the township have an estimate of buyer closing costs as well?
What was that, Fred?
Estimated closing costs? So if you have a $900,000 purchase, or you purchase a house for
Right.
$500,000, $200,000, whatever, there's money set aside for closing
Yes.
costs. Have you been given that number?
I don't believe we've gotten that final number yet back.
Usually that's part of a agreement of sale. You're given buyer estimate costs.
So this is being done as a deed in lieu of condemnation. It's not being done as a traditional.
Okay. So it's a deed in lieu? Thank you.
It says in our memo that the 20,000 contingency to cover closing costs. Is that what you were asking?
Well, the word contingency isn't, I don't think that's the right word you're using. Contingency is usually something that you have in a contract that says if this doesn't happen, then you don't go through with it. It's not usually a dollar amount unless, for example, if the property doesn't appraise or you can't get a loan or something, that's a contingency, but $20,000.
Well, in municipal government, we use the term contingency as well to talk about like project overrun costs and things
Okay.
like that. So I don't think we're using it in the real estate world term, but we're using it
That's what I read.
for
so
us in case, mainly, Fred, if we purchase the property and settle in October, I need a little contingent money in case like a tree falls on the building and we need to fix it or something like that.
Well, hopefully the seller pays for that because it's the seller's.
Well, I mean, if we buy after we purchase it for the
Well,
remainder of this
well,
year.
that was one of the questions I
Yeah.
had, actually. So can you tell me what issues were uncovered as a result of the inspections that were made on the property?
You'd have to, I don't think anybody's gonna have that information off the top of their head. You can put in a right to know request for the.
Maybe, right, okay. So you want it right to know, is that correct? Got that, you got that. And I just had one question, and I always kind of thought that West Point area was going to be kind of more like a, I don't know, like a boutique-y kind of area. You've got, whatever, and the fact that we're buying that property for its use, I understand the reason for it, but it seemed like it doesn't quite fit what I kind of thought. And you live in, I'm looking at you, Liz, I'm sorry, but because you live there, we have the landscaping, the lightscaping. It really looks nice up there, but just curious what your thoughts were.
One of the things from years ago that I recall, before I was involved, it did a lot of the homes there that they wanted to certify, I guess, as historic. They didn't meet the criteria. So I'm not sure what happened with that historical society that they had at one point in West Point, but I
I mean,
think
this is obviously not historical. I'm talking more like, making it like a walkable area that people could.
I recall there was questions about parking, where people would park if we did things like that, but I don't think anything has been brought up in years with that.
I don't think so either. But I know being a resident so close to here, you're very passionate about
Well,
that area.
You brought up something else on this coming Thursday night at 6:30 in this room and not in the foyer. We will be doing I Remember West Point Park. And it goes back to 1867 until 1987, 89 when it closed. And that's 22 acres in West Point that will be, we'll have photographs and we have a keynote speaker. And so that will all be discussed as part of the history of West Point and the method of transportation to the park back in the 1867-ish area, early 1900s. So there'll be a lot of history being discussed that evening, starting at 7:30, kind of an open house, and the presentation beginning at 7. So
Okay.
If you can't make it, thank you for letting me plug this right now. If you can't make it,
You were like,
speaking of the history of West Point, I believe on Saturday during the Fall Fest, this room and out in the foyer will be open, and Bill Evans, whose family was the last family to own it, he will be here he'll be our keynote speaker on Thursday night, and he will be here on Saturday to talk with people as well during the Fall Fest. The doors will be open for people to come in. I know didn't directly answer your question.
no, I'm just
Yeah.
curious because another question I had, do we know what the amount of money is needed is? I'll call it holding costs, but cost to maintain the property is as it is currently until you do the renovations to it. There's going to be costs associated with landscaping, with keeping the property, if a tree were to fall, something like that. Do you have any idea what that might look like, or is that stuff you can't really anticipate? And I shouldn't be
I
asking
know,
you.
you're looking at me.
I'm looking at you,
like,
but only because,
Yeah, no,
all
I
right.
get
That
it.
is part
Yeah.
of the board's planning process for the purchase. Yes, they in-depth reviewed the inspection reports about the property. We have in-depth cost estimates about the property. You're welcome to put in a right to know request.
And that'd be
for any
right
of
to
that.
know, okay.
Yeah.
Great. I think that was it. Sorry to be so thorough, but I just it's all file right to know, so we'll have that.
Thank you.
Hello, Mark Connolly, and I am a resident. So one thing I did want to mention here, and hopefully I am reading the zoning map correctly, and if not, I apologize in advance, but I believe that this is part of the VPR district, which is Village Preservation Residential District. And from what I see, one of the uses that was contemplated in that district is municipal parks or buildings. And I don't see an amendment note, so I'm guessing that that's been that way for a very long time, probably since I've been around. So I think it's, if that's the case, then this is definitely a use that was contemplated when the zoning code was created. I also think that, when you're looking at, the purchase price here, if we're looking at a $900,000 purchase price, and I think from what it looks like here, it might have been like $775 is what they put it up for. But, if you take a 2-acre lot and subdivide it and put, 2 or 3 houses on it, right, you're going to potentially be getting a multi-million-dollar property, right? So I think when you kind of take everything into consideration, this seems to me like a reasonable proposal. And again, comparing to what other townships in our general vicinity have done for similar projects, right, where you're talking here, multiples larger payments for buildings, obviously of a different character. I'm definitely in favor of us moving forward. And again, just given the a limited amount of space for us to do classes, to do things like that. I think it's beneficial. I know, and I don't know if I mentioned this when I discussed this in a previous meeting, but one of the things when I was actually not living in the township, I believe I was living in North Wales or Lansdale at the time, and I remember driving by the township building and seeing, that they were doing Dutch classes, which I don't know if they've done them since. It's kind of random, but I think the idea behind that is, that's really interesting that the township is able to do these kind of educational things for its residents, right? And thinking how much more we would be able to do with this space versus what we're able to do now, where again, if it's pretty much just limited inside to this room and the little building back there, I definitely think for the ability to expand Parks and Recs, it would definitely be beneficial. So again, I'm in favor. Thank you.
Hey, Mark, if you want to learn Dutch, that was put on by my neighbor across the street. I can reach out to her if you want to take a class with her.
Thank you. And I would say something in Dutch, but I don't speak Dutch. So.
Well, there you go. I can't hear you, Frank. Could you come?
So you don't know if you were in a multiple offer situation or not?
As we said earlier, this is being done as a deed in lieu of condemnation.
Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Number 10, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 24-2025, authorizing the distribution of the 2025 General Municipal Pension System state aid in the amount of $546,584.85. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Number 11, I'd like to make a motion to adopt Act 49, Prior Police Service Buyback Policy. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Number 12, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the advertisement of ordinance 2025-06, collection of delinquent real estate taxes. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Number 13, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Constellation Energy contract for a 5-year term ending December 2030 with 100% green energy. Can I have a second?
So moved. Oh, sorry.
Got that, Deanna?
I have one comment, President Carter. As Megan mentioned last meeting, the rate gets refreshed each day. So the rate today being contemplated is 0.0824 versus the rate that was in the memo, which was 0.0811, which represents a difference of 0.0013 cents.
Thank you very much. We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Tonight, we don't have anything for Commissioner Moody or Commissioner Mull, so we'll jump, Commissioner Hall. So we'll jump to Commissioner Mull for Public Works, Parks, and Recreation.
Thank you, President Carter. Upper Gwynedd Township, and let me just start with agenda item 14, the carnival thank yous. We mentioned it at the work group session, but we do have a lengthy list of folks that we want to personally thank, that we didn't have quite everybody encapsulated in that list. We wanted to make sure that we didn't miss anybody on the list. So we're going to try to catch everybody, and if we don't, we apologize in advance. But Upper Gwynedd Township would like to thank the following people for helping make our carnival a success. Skelly's Amusements, Starflight Drones and Fireworks, the Clemens Food Group, Hers Snacks, Cargo Trailer Sales, Republic Services, Lehigh Valley Dairy Farms, Stephanie at George Allen Wastewater Management, West Point Deli, Rental World, Rock Hill Designs, Upper Gwynedd Fire Department and Fire Police, Upper Gwynedd Park and Recreation Advisory Board, Upper Gwynedd Park and Rec and Public Works Department, Upper Gwynedd Police Department, Upper Gwynedd Board of Commissioners, VMSC of Lansdale, Township Administration Staff, Norgwyn Baseball and Softball, the Sausage Crew, Justin Murray and all the volunteers, North Penn Flag Football, all ticket booth and wristband volunteers, Merck and Company, KJ Doors, Code Inspections Inc., Remington and Vernick Engineers, WB Homes, and a thank you to all of our 2025 silver and bronze sponsors. Thank you very much for helping us make a success with Carnival. Moving forward to agenda item number 15, I'm making a motion to approve the opening of highway agreement with Montgomery County for West Point Pike. There's some crosswalks that need some milling work. And since it's a county road, we have to enter into this agreement in order to be able to do the work. So with that, I make that motion.
We have a motion. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments?
I have a few. I use that road a lot, West Point Pike a lot, and going over the pavers is very loud. And I know the township has received some comments about that, not complaints, but comments about it. So I was talking with Nick about it and some of the neighbors, and they're all excited about it. Could you just explain briefly what you'll be doing to help with that rumbling noise that we hear when trucks especially go over that?
Yeah, no problem. So the main reason that we're doing this is, as you mentioned, we got a couple complaints that as bigger trucks and bigger cars do go over those crosswalks, there's a lot of da-dum. That's the technical term. So when we took a look at it, John Chabala, the Public Works Director, and myself, you can see that there's like a 1.5, 2-inch lip that drops down from the crosswalks that were installed in one piece, I guess, when they were installed during the streetscaping portion, and the asphalt that butts up against it. So a majority of the noise is coming from that lip there. It's kind of like you're driving at 35 miles an hour into a driveway apron. You go
It's
into your
25.
house. 25, sorry. Some people are going 35. So essentially all we're going to be doing is on 10 feet on either side of the crosswalk that is the closest to the tea house right there. And then on one of the approaches at the next intersection down there, they're going to mill back 10 feet and then they're going to repave the asphalt and build up the asphalt right by the crosswalk so that it's ramped more progressively straight toward the actual crosswalk, and it's not there's no lip there anymore. The only reason we're not doing it on both sides of the second crosswalk is because the approach side coming from the railroad tracks isn't that there is no lip there, so there's not a problem. So those seem to be the only three approaches that required this restoration. We reached out to the county. They require an HOP since that is a county-owned road for us to perform this work. They were fine with it. They just need to have their agreement put in place, which is what you guys are voting on.
Thank you.
No problem.
Do you have any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, President Carter. Number 16, I'm making a motion to authorize the advertisement of the bid for a pole barn for the Parks and Recreation Department.
We have a motion. Can I have a second?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. We have any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Number 17, I'm making a motion to approve Resolution 25-2025, local share account grant for a street sweeper.
We have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do you have any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And finally, President Carter, I'm making a motion to authorize the advertisement of the bid for the Sumneytown Pike Bridge replacement and pedestrian bridge relocation.
We have a motion. Can I have a second?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any board comments? I have a comment. I thought their RE was doing the movement of the bridge.
What?
Why are we going out to bid? I thought the engineering firm was taking care of all.
They handled the design, but we have to hire a construction company to build the bridge and everything.
Oh, okay. I thought it was all wrapped up.
They have been doing the design work, and then we will go out to bid for the construction work.
Construction, the bridge is already built.
What bridge are you referring to?
The pedestrian bridge, I thought we.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the whole project. It's the roadway bridge is being replaced. The pedestrian bridge is being carted up to the other section, but it's still going to cost about $450,000 to transport it. Why don't you explain the,
Yeah, it's not just the transport. They also need to set like the foundations and the footers and everything by the new Talamanson crossing so that they can set the bridge exactly right and that it'll last, the lifespan of the bridge. And then along with that, there's going to be some sidewalk installed, there's grading, and there's some stream bank restoration that needs to be done for that relocation. So that's a portion of the project. We're just putting that along with the construction of the Sumneytown Pike roadway bridge right over here by what used to be Boston Style Pizza. So
Anthony's.
Anthony's.
Yeah.
So those are both going to be bid out to the same contractor, and they're going to be working on both of the projects.
Okay, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought it was all like one project, and since you were doing it all, I thought it was all under your umbrella. Yes.
We don't have that.
Okay. Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Turn it over tonight for wastewater treatment to Commissioner Moody.
Thank you. For number 19, we have 3 Rotork actuators that control the flow to the aeration tanks via the gates. And currently, our operators must do this manually, and due to the condition of these actuators, they need to be refurbished. And once repairs are completed and actuators are reinstalled, operators can then remotely control the flow via SCADA. So I'd like to make a motion to approve these repairs to these actuators to Edwin Elliott and Company in the amount of $14,650.
We have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And then the last item on the list here, number 20, we're looking to replace a pump located at Briar Glen Pump Station that has been in service for 27 years. It looks like we had an original repair quote for $16,385 and then a replacement quote for $11,642 numbers. So based on those quotes, it's practical for us to replace the pump rather than repair it. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of a flight model NP-3102.070 for a 4-inch submersible pump from Xylem Water Solutions USA in the amount of $11,642.04.
We have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Number 21, I'd like to make a motion to approve the October open invoices. Can I have a second?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? Deanna, can you do a roll call?
President Carter,
Aye.
Vice President Moody,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner McNaney.
Aye.
Commissioner Mull.
Motion passes unanimously. Number 22, I'd like to make a motion to approve the October paid invoices. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any board comments? Any public comments? Deanna, can you do a roll call, please?
President Carter,
Aye.
Vice President Moody,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner McNaney.
Aye.
Commissioner Mull.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to remind everyone that on Saturday, October 18th, which is this Saturday, we're having the annual Fall Fest here at Park Place. Please come out and join us. So all of Sarah's hard work. As Commissioner McNaney said, there's going to be something in here in the vestibule about West Point Village. And then Sarah has a whole lot of exciting, adventurous rides and celebrations set up for Saturday at our Fall Fest. It's always a wonderful celebration, thanks to our wonderful Parks and Rec department. So please come out between 11 and 3 on Saturday.
President Carter, we also have the Parkside public meeting in this room on Wednesday night, that they'll go over the revitalization and the survey from that we've taken from that. And Fred, thanks for being a part of that. You and Lynn Nagel, I
What
believe.
time's that start?
It is from 6 o'clock to 7:30 in this room. The planners will all be here for that. And you and Lynn were correct, Fred, that you and Lynn were on the original planning of the park 20. We appreciate you doing that, you and Lynn, and being a part of. Yeah. Yep. And we appreciate the time that you and Lynn and the whole committee has done. And we hope we have a nice turnout on Wednesday from 6 to 7:30.
Thank you. Any other announcements? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming out.